Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. Just kind of arriving, setting up, having a look. Oh, I miss you, Freddie. Bom dia. Buenos dias. I'm gonna miss Rio, dude. I'm gonna miss you guys.
Come to Rio?
I'm not.
Come to Nicaragua from here.
Is that where?
Nicaragua from here.
Is that where you're going?
Go to Nicaragua. Go to the water.
There's Lulu. Good day, SA Elements. Well, you're the first in. Welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome. I'm looking at very clean, very clean waves, but after being down here so many mornings and it's been just cooking, it's like you look at perfect head high and you're like, it looks pretty small. But it's really fun. There's a couple things we should talk about is morning. Looks smaller but clean. Good morning all. History buff is in the house. Blum Angler looks smaller but clean. What? Not going to Brazil? I'm not going to Brazil, everyone. Gonna explain a little bit of that. I will have, how's it? Gene Wagon AMG, you reckon it's on? So my first impression, God, I have a long answer for that, just like I always do, right? Is it on? There's a couple options here. I'm gonna run through them. You know that thing where you show up at your home break and it looks pretty good, but you reckon the jetty's probably pumping a little bit better? Well, I think we're gonna do that with the next 3 days. We perhaps could overthink it. So one of the options is not run today at all and wait till tomorrow when it is a weekend. WSL loves them, a weekend crowd, loves to stream on the weekend for the audience. And it's meant to have a little bump tomorrow. The other option is we just run. And the third option is we run quarters today and do semis and finals tomorrow. So we did take a pass on yesterday, which a lot of people were surprised. It was very similar yesterday. It's very clean. And the rumor about is actually the government was worried that that tropical storm was going to head the other direction and actually wreak havoc here. But as with everything with a weather forecast, it's unpredictable, and they were wrong. It was completely glassy and clean all day yesterday, very similar to this. So, is it on? I think we'll wait. I think here's what's going to happen. They're going to probably put eyes on it pretty soon here. I know the call's at 6:30 for a 7, potential 7. I think what they want to see is more consistency. The tide was bottomed out. I'm going to read your comments in just a minute, everyone. The tide was bottomed out at 5:30. And so we are in the optimal spot for a tide push and for the best waves. Probably the best waves of the day, morning. And again, if you're just joining, it's inconsistent, but it's clean, man. And it's probably head high. You see that little one peeling through, that's maybe shoulder high. There's waves out there, but it's a long wait. So, I don't know. How about 1 hour heats? Do I hear 1 hour heats? We did 45 minutes each last time we were here with the men in the chocolate barrels. And I have to be honest, I was surprised the chocolate barrels are gone. The water's cleaned up nicely. Here's Luana Silva. Let's go in for a look. This might actually favor her against Carissa. And then what we're going to do is we'll look at these heats in the quarters. I mean, let's be honest, if you saw that at your local break, unless you live somewhere special, unless you're tuning in from G-Land, you'd probably go out. And look at this one. Here's Caroline. Let's see what Caroline does. She's feeling it out. Whack. Day of the year, second light. Gives it 2 bashes. She's trying to work on a 6. She needs a finishing move into the inside. Repetitive, maybe. Scoring, yes. All right, let's read some comments. I've heard me talk too much. Looks like it should be on question mark. Let's see. Thanks for these surf checks. Hey, 1986 jockey. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out. Good morning. We'll miss you in Brazil. I have a Ray Garrity. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being so active in the channel. Really appreciate that. Michael Pinto. We'll miss you in Brazil. Yeah, I have a plan. I have an evil plan to get a live stream. I'm going to piggyback on my friend's live stream, my friend Carlos, and I'll be set up. I'll be getting up early in the morning and we'll look at it together and we'll talk surf. So I may not be there physically. I'll be there in spirit, let's say. And I've got a way I can get to more events. We're going to talk about that in another video at another time. A little more consistency and they call it on. Gustavo, I think you're right. Fabrice Henry, not stoked about the WSL. They're becoming worse and worse. I have to be honest, I'll defend them a little and say they're way better than the ELO eras. So if we put a stake in the ground for that, I'm going to give them some credit. But you know, it's not all rainbows and unicorns all the time. Looks a lot healthier out there than the suit from the other day. History buff, you are absolutely correct, man. I was gnarly. I actually thought surfers would get sick, and maybe a lot of that was river sentiment. Maybe I was totally wrong to think there was, as someone put it, El Salvador cigars out there. Like, I'm sure there was some nasty bacteria in the water because it was pretty brown. Anyway, looks like it's cleaned up nicely, both in a health sense and the waves. It's pretty damn glassy. I mean, I'm standing here on this deck. Let's have a look at the deck. I'm here on this deck. Okay. There's Mike Latronic. Here, I'm going to smash his head. Hold on. Smashing Mike Latronic's head. And then that down there is the grandstands. And my fingers are getting away. Wow, look at that little peeler. This is so good. There's some, now the comments are going. Looks like it's lining up better than last time in the chocolate for sure. Today, looks like wave is forcing surfers to sit so close to the white water that seems to limit variety. You know, that's a pretty damn good observation there. BS, do you still have to pay for everything in Bitcoin? No, you never really had to pay for Bitcoin. I think they just made it an option, unless that happened prior to my first experience here about 5 years ago. There was always the opportunity to pay in other currencies, not currencies, by cash or by credit card. Like everyone uses. Dude, I've traveled all 5 of the events using Apple Pay. It's incredible. I love that technology. And to not have a lot of cash. I used to always travel a lot of cash and I don't have to anymore. But just fun fact, they do take American dollars here. That is the currency that they use. And Bitcoin, I mean, you can go to a restaurant and pay in Bitcoin. Look at that wave out the back. But I really like what BS said, and we're going to look at the matchups here in a moment. Maybe I'll get my friend Alex to I'm going to find somebody to chat with us. Yeah, but BS was talking about today it looks like it's forcing the surfers to stick closer to the power source, the whitewater. There's people guessing here. Is it on? Is it off? I think if you just came onto the stream and you see how small it is, or it looks flat, you're going, oh man, it's off. But there are sets. And I could see them running longer heats of, that 45-minute range we saw the other day. But I think the other factor that's playing into this is the tide's going to push, and it's just starting to push now. I think it's going to get better. I really do. I think we could see, at minimum, run the quarters or the WSL waits. They wait till tomorrow for Saturday. And then here, Fabrice Henry, they will wait for the weekend as usual. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this WSL game relies on viewership and money, and they may do that. And God, sometimes as a surf fan, somebody who wants to see them run in the best conditions, you don't want to hear the money aspect. You don't want to hear that, well, we're going to wait for viewership. Now, the one good thing about that, let me turn around and say this important fact, is that it's supposed to bump. It's supposed to be a teeny bump tomorrow. Surfline says 4 to 6, tomorrow says 5 to 7. Both days say pretty damn clean and glassy all day. So there is that. Let's see. The contest's going to be on Saturday, says Tom. They should run after that last set. Dude, look at that. That's Caroline. Caroline's out there making let's see what she does right here. Caroline's throwing some spray. If this was our shitty local, we'd be frothing. Exactly, Art. How's the transition from OSD? How's the transition from OSD going to ProSurf Media? Thanks BS for asking that. Thanks for being formerly I was Old Surf Dad, and everyone still says that when they see me around. Yo, Old Surf Dad, and that's cool. I mean, I think the transition, I was kind of pissed off about it because some dude trademarked the name under me, and I wasn't stoked. But then again, when I thought to myself, it was actually my partner, my woman. She's so good at this stuff, man. She walked me through it. She's like, and also a mentor I had was like, look, dude, I think ProSurf Media is a better name. I think it's more descriptive, it's more focused, and you cover WSL events. And so there's a transition. God, there's probably a lot of stuff no one wanted to hear. Let me move on. Waves look super fun for mortals like us. Yeah, love that. Who's sitting down and watching this on a weekend? CT is good viewing when you're meant to be working. 1986 jockey, exactly. Dude, you cannot count the number of times I used to work on, and I still do on occasion, on movie sets, and there would be a couple of us that were fans, and we would have our phones, or we'd get a monitor, we'd sneak a monitor, and we were supposed to be watching what we were filming, but we'd have the WSL on in a secret room, or we'd cordon off a part of the set with curtains and shit, and we'd just watch it all day, getting paid to watch. I think that's the way. Now, here's what I'm talking about. Maybe getting a little bit, look at that. Okay, somebody out the back. Little slow. Little chop hop 360. Let's have a look. Section. Wow. All right. Let's see. That looks like, anyone want to guess? That might be, Wow, out the back with a big spray. One hit wonder though. That's Molly on the inside. Whoa. Hey, by the way, Molly does have that air in her repertoire. She just doesn't go to it very often. I asked her about that last year in Portugal, and she was like, look, if I don't have to go to the air, I'd rather win on carves. I'd rather win on turns. But she has that, and sometimes I think you can get some scores on it. Dude, Pro Surf Media merch. Dude, I don't know, at some point. Caroline got her 2 scores. I know, if you've been watching, Caroline's got her 2 scores. Now she can take some risks. Who's sitting down and oh yeah, we read that, which I think is hilarious. Waves look super fun for mortals. I could bog a rail or two in that. Ashley, me too. Man, you guys, if you saw my bottom turn game on this wave, wow, that's worth a visual. Here's somebody, who's this? I think that is Bella, wait, who's Pato's daughter. Let's see, there's somebody behind. No, gonna stay with the inside. No, wait, this right here, sorry, I'm all over the place. That's Gabrielle O'Brien, by the way. And you know, God, some of her fangs might be dull from the fact that this wave doesn't have the punch she needs to throw that big bucket. And that Lelior could have a little advantage there. Maybe let's look at some matchups. Some matchups. SA Elements thinks they're definitely running today. Enjoy your day. Thank you, Avid. Why did they call it off a couple days ago when it was massive? Yeah, BS. Yeah, hey, BS, thank you. Yeah. Still rocking the same vibes. By the way, I noticed too, like, for those of you watching a rebroadcast of this, I'm actually reading a chat that's streaming, and you can click on the screen and see what people are writing. I'm not insane and coming up with these questions in my head, asking myself and talking to myself, but that would be pretty good. Topics on the table. So why they call it off? So I don't know if anyone saw it. If you're subscribed to the channel, a video would have popped up yesterday from June 2nd. And unfortunately, I had so much going on, I couldn't edit that in time, and I loaded that video. And a lot of people thought that was actually yesterday, and it was not. And it was pumping. Like, that was one of the better days. That video is called Chilama. And if they're not on today, you can watch that at work. Wow. I just saw a spray out the back. That is somebody. Is that Marco? I think that's Marco. You know who I just saw? I just saw Angelo from Stab, who's writing some insane articles, but mostly like taking cool pictures and captioning them as his coverage. And I thought that was so clever and different. Maybe I'll get him over here to talk a little bit. Isn't that out there? And that is not out there, which I'm a little surprised, or maybe I haven't seen her. Yeah, that was Gabby. Let's see what else we got. Whoa, name for awesome footage. Everybody. Thank you, Kong. Kong, appreciate you being in the channel, man. Thanks for your support. Raglan pumping again today. Wow. Yeah. Let's see.
On hold.
We're on hold, guys.
Next call is going to be at 7:30 a.m.
There you
for
go.
a possible 8:05 start. All
Catch that, 7:30 for a possible 8:05 start. So, muy buenos días con todos. So anyway, there you go. That's the update on hold. We'll talk for a little bit. The call is that we're on hold. If you're just getting... Who's winning the coaches title race? You know what? I'm glad you asked that, King Suki. On our adjacent site, my friend Dill, surfmetrics.app, he is keeping track of the coaches, which is such a cool idea. So you can check that out, surfmetrics.app. And what you also want to do is follow his Insta, and it will tell you. He gives updates, and it's just good to have those stats. And I have some stats about the matchups that I'm about to show you or talk about. So let's see what else we got here. Are there any strong rivalries out in the water that you have sensed? Seems like athletes get along. Yeah, Antonio, I wish there was more rivalries. I want some hate. I want some mustard. Hate maybe is too strong. I just want somebody to talk some shit. I mean, Betty Lou talked a little shit, but let's hear some more. I think Katie versus Tyler is going to be a banger. Old school, new school. And neither of them, let me just say it like this. They don't really, they're just like, they kind of have this thing, and it's probably not true. Like, they don't give a shit. Like, all right, I'm going to go out and surf. Enjoy it or not. I'm going to try to win. I'm competitive as hell, but I'm also not going to buy into all the hype and the pressure and just surf. And here we have Molly again on the inside. Being able to fit that rail into a nice little turn on a nice little wave. It's getting better, I think. Out back. Why hold? Waves are looking good. They're waiting for the onshores. I think, Avidin, thank you, man. Cutback City, the call. So the call is that we're on hold, 7:30 for an 8:05. I'm feeling like, from what I've seen, I feel like you could definitely run some heats, especially get maybe the quarters out of the way. And if the tide comes up and it starts to look like crap, you just surf on a Saturday, the semis and the finals. How cool would that be? I keep wanting to pull the matchups out of my pocket that I've written down, and I'm just loving these comments. If I miss your comment, my bad. Yeah, I'm trying. I thought it was supposed to be 10 foot, says Mij Greco. Yeah, I think the days of 10 foot are behind us. We've had a great run. Good evening, just watched. And by the way, good evening for those of you in Australia. Welcome. Some nice little turn. I think that's Cal. Could be Cal. Hey, brother. Just watched Chalama. My video Chalama I just dropped yesterday. Isn't that cool? Like, my kid says that. Dad, you dropped that video? Al C. Jr. looked pretty fucking good. Has been great read on this wave and always on the bombs. I think so, dude. Al's feeling it. Now, Al does go against the machine, Gabriel Medina. Missed some Bobby Martinez in the water. You and me both. Wait, was right. Wish one day they will have a contest at Rio Nexpa, Mexico. We can't be giving up secrets. Did you score waves down in Marty's Way? Friggin' heavy, yes. Plenty of targets for Bobby and that Shorey. Did you? Yes, did I score? Did I score in terms of filming? Yes. I could not surf, which was such a bummer. I messed up my shoulder pretty bad, and I spent more time. This looks like Leo? Wow, what? Get out of here. Dude, not only does he have like the meanest carve in the game right now, but I think that was Leo, right? Yeah. Photographer confirming that was Leo. That was sick, dude. Like, let's not forget, Leo has air game, but he'd rather win this thing on the rail because Leo throws more spray, I think, than anyone. Can I say that? He's surfing great. With these conditions, canoa is definitely a threat. God, I agree with that. There's some guy in the comments of my videos that's always like, you're not talking about canoa, and he's right again. And I said to him, hey, canoa is always good for a quarters. The truth is, he may do better if it's like this. What do you say we look at the matchups? And I'm going to miss some best tide low coming in, according to the local crew. Yeah, and that's what Brian said to me on one of my videos. I think it's going to be, I think we're in that exact window, and I like it. Leo looking savage. How can we have an Italian pro surfer? And my family's Italian, I'm not throwing shade. Leo dropping the hammer. Let's see who's out the back. Caroline, jeez, dude. Caroline's building on her already solid score of 2 waves. She got hung up a little bit there. She didn't release the tail. Now she's just kind of doing a victory lap. She's probably had the best female surf session. Can we say that? Here she is at second light with the rocks and everything. Whoa, talkative. I read, yeah, for those just joining, we're looking at inconsistent but fun. I'd call it head high, maybe a little plus on that once in a while. Kind of sets here. Super clean, no wind at all. And clean also in the health aspect. We were here the other day and it was muddy and ugly and yeah, it looked like a biohazard, but it's doing this. Like, here's a set, and you see dropping in, we've got someone throwing a bucket, and then there's also someone out the back. Wow, that was a pretty good turn. Let's stick with this guy. So that's what we're looking at, is that kind of wave. It's meant to pick up a little bit tomorrow, but not a lot. And here's another one. I mean, that's Molly again. Actually, Molly may be winning the women's heat. Here comes my brother Sebastian. Good morning, my friend.
How are you?
How are you? Good to see you, my man. Sebastian is over there covering all the action at Duke Surf. Check out Duke Surf. My friend Pablo runs that show. And they put up a video of Johnny's, I didn't know that was Johnny's daughter. So 2 girls from Mexico that support Al Cleland, they walk around with microphones and interview everyone, and they caught me in the press area. And dude, I saw it yesterday. It's pretty funny, actually. I liked it.
The YouTube one?
What's that?
The YouTube one?
Yeah, the YouTube one was good. Exclusive interview. Yeah, I'm just messing around in the interview box. We might do a little loop here in a second. I'll show you the surroundings. But first, somebody out the back. Whoa. So try to speak at the broadcast like Strider. Am I not doing that? I don't know. I just talk, dude. They should make more heats, and Mamiya and Cleland heat. Algunos saber if this. I reckon they're gonna run women first. Medina. Yeah, what's the weather like? Art asks, what's the weather like? So, when that sun comes out, it gets pretty damn warm. Looks pretty buttery, it does. 20 time. Dude, who's got the 20? Hey, is Pablo coming?
Yes.
I'm gonna force him to get on air with me and make bad picks.
But
He's gonna work.
No. She will be maybe in 10 minutes
10 minutes.
because he has to leave the car at the parking outside the contest.
Oh,
So he needs me inside
Lame.
the contest. And
all right. Well, maybe we'll look at these matchups real quickly. I'll give you the rundown. You guys can tell me what you think, and then we'll see if we can get Pablo on here to give his picks. I see the one and only Al Cleveland Jr. showing up, which tells me the WSL is taking it seriously enough to bring the big dog in. Just to give you a little behind the scenes, there's a secret text that goes out to all the competitors, and there's a couple of parents, I'm not going to name names, and there's a couple of people who work for the WSL that give me the insight, and unfortunately none of them are here today, so I don't have the behind the scenes, the secret information to give you, but if I ever do, you know I'm going to tell you. What we got here? Men's and women's quarters today, finals tomorrow maybe. Yeah, I think that's a possibility, Dylan McKnight. Thanks for joining. Baron running over some twit on your edit was pretty heavy. Obviously not his fault. That guy must have got nailed. Dude, I think I did see that. Who is that? Tall Kev 72 is back. I keep saying Talikev, like you're Chechnyan. Sorry, Tall Kev. Yeah, in that edit, you guys can watch it. It's called Chiloma. I just loaded it yesterday. It's from June 2nd, so it's a ways back when it was pretty big. And Baron, we're in the very beginning of the video, probably 10 waves in maybe, and Baron just gets caught in a bad situation, and he kind of runs over the guy, but also you notice, Tall Kev, he jumps off the board, so the board probably just skimmed over him. And it wasn't an injury that I was aware of. I don't think anything really happened, but yeah, it looked gnarly. Everyone's like, oh shit, on the beach. So here we have, well, wait, let's go out the back and look at the pretty peelers that are still coming in. Shit, looks fun to me. What? History buff. Perfect for a Mao out there. Dude, no way. Howdy. Any updates with Elo's knee? Dude, Anthony, I feel like I let you down because I know you were back in Ramsey for that match. That is the best wave, peeling right there, that I've seen. And if we can get some of those in the mix, oh, we could have us a good quarterfinal couple of heats. But Anthony, as always, thank you so much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, with the super thanks is Anthony. Thanks for the 50 USD or CSD or whatever it is. I am most grateful. And thanks for your support of the channel. And I have not heard much from Elo. I'm going to tell you a quick Elo story. Dude, there's about a 300, maybe 400 meter walk from where I park to the contest site. And I kind of like that walk. As I walk in, I decompress. I think about, all right, what are the matchups today? And I guess I admit a little bit, I think about, all right, what kind of crap am I going to say on the live show? But it always comes naturally because you guys come with some strong comments. So I'm walking about 200 meters in the 400 meter walk, and a red truck pulls up with tinted windows, music playing softly inside, AC pumping, and the window rolls down and it's Idolo. And he goes, hey brother, you want to ride? And I'm like halfway there. And I say, nah dude, I'm cool. Because I'm like thinking about my day. I'm like decompressing, I'm putting it all together. And like later I was like, what the hell did I just do? I had an opportunity to like roll into the show with Idolo and the gang, man. I cannot believe it. Pablo, my man, I am live, dude, and you're gonna go live with me. We're gonna talk about fantasy picks.
Okay, I'm jumping on your live.
You jumping on my live? I welcome you to my live, ladies and gentlemen.
That live is a success.
say.
You have like almost 400 people.
Oh, do I?
You're
I don't,
famous,
dude. I
dude.
don't even look at that shit. I just
Dude,
talk.
yeah.
That rock.
That's an amazing life.
Let's see what else we got. Does Toledo not tour with his dad anymore? The human tea kettle. I'll let you answer that.
Do you remember the whistling of Ricardo Toledo?
Yes.
That was fun.
Dude.
He has this ability that is incredible to whistle without like, I don't know, whistle super strong without doing anything, you know? He's like, I don't know how he does that.
He's talking about Toledo's dad. He would whistle for a set. He would whistle in disapproval. He used that whistle quite often.
Yeah.
But no, I have not seen Felipe's dad on tour in years, dude.
No.
I never see him. I can't remember the last time I saw him. By the way, thanks for that interview, dude. Like, I saw it on your site. I clipped it where the girls come in and talk to me. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just watching the WSL
We
on my
put you on your
phone.
spot. But that's something that journalists do a lot, huh? I have to say that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
we-
recognize that we stay in the press room a long time, and we should stay more time here, like actually watching at the waves.
Yeah, I try to do a combination. I know you do this too, Pablo, is where, by the way, Pablo from Duke Surf is with me. We've been making some videos together. They're really great videos, I might add.
Thank you. Look at this.
It's been good to
The
have you,
visions are
bro.
good, man.
Look at this.
What's going on?
It's gotten better since I've shown up here.
Throw the freaking event, dude.
So Pablo's calling it on. The WSL is still waiting. We have two things against us. One is tomorrow's Saturday. They love them a weekend event.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
it's supposed to be a small bump tomorrow.
And also Sunday. I mean, it's but you don't run. They say this. You don't run away from perfect serve. And I think that 14 hits, it's a lot to do in one day. So if I was them, today I was throwing something just to have everything like more sharpened to go on the final day, you know? I don't know.
I totally agree with that. And what we've been talking about in the comments have said it too, is like perhaps you run the quarters, or at least maybe the women's quarters, and then
Are you being sexist?
and then have the you know how they are, dude. They'll drop the
Yeah, they do that.
they
are
let's
sexist.
just be the one thing about this show.
I
which-
left. Oh
Whoa,
my God.
shit, I missed
was
that.
a first left ever.
The first, dude, yesterday I was having lunch at Senzal at the Cafe Senzal, and there was this left peeling off the other side of the point, and I
Yeah.
could make it where I took a picture and I made it look like perfect waves. And I'm sending it to Pablo going, dude, you're missing it. He's like, where is that? Where is that? And it was like a hoax wave. We do that to our
We
friends.
surf away a lot, you know.
I really like what you said about you don't drive away from perfect surf. How many times have we shown up at a spot, looked at it, and gone, no, it's probably better at the jetty. It's probably better up the point or whatever.
Exactly.
And I think they should run some heats, especially with the tide is in the optimal window pushing.
Exactly.
For those of you just joining, thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the stream. Subscribe if you like this kind of thing. Okay, commercial's over. Dude, let's talk about some matchups.
Okay.
You ready? We're going to start with the men's
Okay.
because it's on the top of the page.
Go ahead. We're gonna
This
miss
is
everything.
we tend to miss, but if you take one guy and I take the other, we can't miss.
Oh, that's perfect.
No, I think we're going to agree on a few of these. First heat up, Callum versus Kanoa. Kanoa, by the way, leads the record head-to-head, 1-0. And Kanoa, to me, is kind of deadly in these conditions.
Yeah.
Has a little more variety than Callum, but Callum is going to put his head down. He got some nice waves this morning, and he's going to grovel through this. What do you think? What's your reaction?
Well, I think that the conditions, if the event was going to the water yesterday, which by the way was perfect all day long,
Yeah.
and the day before, which by the way was perfect all day long. Yesterday was the craziest off, not on the history of the CT, because we saw some crazy off days on the CT, but the field has changed. Now we are surfing more the Punta Roca that we surfed on previous year, like perfect high performance rippable. So for me, it's canoa. I mean, Callum was standout on the days of the bigger surfing, but now with these rippable waves is canoa. Canoa is the winner of that heat in my paper.
Yeah, I think I back that. I think Kanoa should win that heat. And one of the things you mentioned, which I talked about a little earlier in the stream, was that yesterday was actually really good. And it was glassy and clean like this all day. And was that the best off day of the season? Perhaps.
Probably.
But we've gotten so spoiled here in Punta Roca. You and I have showed up here every morning. We get up at 4 a.m. We have our coffee. I feed the dog.
Yeah, really?
And
You have a
yeah,
dog?
well, I'm taking care of my friend's dog. Shout out to Charlie and Tyler. And I come and look at perfect waves every day.
Yeah.
And this is probably the smallest since I've been
Tiny,
here,
dude.
but it's the cleanest.
Yeah.
So there you have it. But yeah, let's move on.
keep moving.
Kanoa, we both picked Kanoa.
Okay.
This one is a powerhouse, power heat. Marco versus Leo. They've never had a heat together before. There's no record there. I would kind of say old school, new school. Leo's kind of an old guy on tour now, believe it or not. I remember when it was his first season.
That's
Your
pretty
take.
tough. That's pretty tough to pick, huh? But let's do a fast pick. Marco. He
Wow.
has the Latin American magic. He's from Mexico. Let's go with Marco. And,
Wow.
And Leo was like the powerhouse, and the waves are gonna be small. So let's go with Marco. What about you? Go
So
with Leo, so we don't miss.
Pablo picked Marco, and Marco is probably in that conversation of a real up and coming. I used to not think it, but top 10, maybe even top 5 conversation in the future. I will not pick Marco this time, and here's why. I just saw Leo do an air on the inside on a
Really?
shoulder high wave that was like, whoa. So Leo not only is on fire, on point, power surfing his way through this, and bigger waves, I think it's a pretty equal match too, because Marco's no slouch. We saw him hit that lip the other day. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
But I think that, I don't know, competitively, Leo's better, more experienced, and Leo can throw the air. I'd forgotten about it until he did it this morning. So we're going to do the opposite on that one. Let's go to this. I love this matchup.
Yeah.
Again, these two have never surfed together before.
Yeah.
It's Idolo Fajeda against Cali Vost.
Yeah.
And I had Anthony, who's a big supporter of this channel, throwing down the cash in the stream. I so appreciate you, Anthony. Anthony wants to know about Idolo's knee. I'm going to take you right to the journalist who digs on these things. Have you heard anything about Idolo's knee lately? I've heard nothing.
And the knee looks good. Did you see a photo that WSL posted with the 8 stitches?
I did,
They
and that was a
do.
couple days old, and it looked good then. I imagine he's been resting it. He's been putting a magic elements, some
Yeah.
cream,
Yeah.
poured a little Red Bull on it. I think he's ready to go. What is...
Yeah.
So Idolo versus Cali Vost, and Cali Vost I've been talking about all year, dude.
Yeah.
He to me looks like a guy that's ready to
Yeah.
move up the rankings.
Yeah.
This guy is
Yeah.
so good in all
Gnarly.
conditions. He's not
Yeah.
a big wave surfer alone.
Yeah.
Who wins that heat?
For me, it's gonna be Cowley. I mean, I know that Italo is gonna bring his air game. Now, my question is, can he bring his air game with the knee as he has right now? So, and I think the best backside attack of the event was Cowley. It was in bigger waves, right? But I'll go with Cowley. I like what I see from Cowley, so I go with Cowley.
I love that you made that call, and
What about you?
I'm gonna take Idolo
Why?
just because I think my only concern with Idolo is not necessarily his knee. He's just gonna come down here on adrenaline and surf the way he surfs.
So
That's just
backside airs.
that's just how he rolls.
That's your.
Well, and there's my concern. My one concern is this, that Idolo gets into a competitive rhythm and starts doing bunny hops, and the judges are going to shut him down quick. They're not going to score it well. But Idolo has more speed, and Idolo has, I think he has, what do you say, the impact that judges go, wow. I think Idolo has a wow factor that's slightly above Cowley's. Look at these sets, dude.
Have you seen the? Yeah, the set was good.
This is Molly, it looks like. Let's just focus in a little bit. Let's
beautiful
watch
wave.
Molly. By the way, missing the comments. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to try to get back to the comments. Molly.
I gave you like 50 more viewers.
You did? Just because Pablo has come in.
I'm happy on that.
His enigmatic charisma has brought hundreds of
People
viewers.
is calling each other and saying, hey, Pablo is on there.
Thank you, Paulo, for joining us.
No, I
so
was
we
going
went
to tell-
opposite.
Did
We
you,
went.
Did you hear the statements Ethan Ewing made on Stab Mike
I
about?
I did. Let's talk to the viewers about.
pretty against Brazilian surfing. Pretty much. I mean, well, he also said that they need to learn from them. So that was interesting. So it's a good news. Good like a good. I mean, look at Cowley. That's Cowley, right?
Yeah, that's Cowley. Let's watch your surfer in action. All right, nice.
That was a nice man.
Nice turn. I think he had hit before that. Cowley's the one on the middle wave, or on the inside wave as it is now. He's, you know what's interesting about this guy is he also generates a lot of speed. Is that last turn a little more of a windshield wiper? Maybe, but you know, Idolo's prone to a windshield wiper himself, and it lacks some of the power that I think really gets the judges excited. But that's going to be a great heat. I can't wait for that heat, and hopefully I'll be out here with you in the sun cooking instead of
like
in the
we are
press
right
room
now.
and the AC with my phone.
Watching it.
Gabriel, oh man, we got to talk about the heat. Everyone wants to talk about.
But I have to say, in these conditions, things are going. Is Gabriel against Alan? In these conditions, I have to say that things look better for Gabriel. I mean, I'm sorry, Alan. I love the guy. He's Mexican. I cover Latin American surfing, so it's good for me when Latin guys do good. But I mean, the favorite, if the conditions are like this, or even with I don't know, one more feet, which is what looks up tomorrow to be. Gabriel is the guy for that heat. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's what I think. Because of the conditions. If
so
it
here's
was,
the thing.
If it was like it was yesterday,
Right
or the day
there.
before,
Right there.
where is he?
He's right there, right with Scotty. See him?
Look at Alan. Yeah,
So why don't you
look
go? Let's go talk to him and see why. Tell him why Gabriel's going to be
We
there.
can bring Alan. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Waves.
And we're going to go back to the waves.
Yeah, well, and this is also bad news for Gabby Bryan, man. I mean, like, which was for me the definitely favorite.
We're going to get to women's heats in a moment.
Biggest wave
Put a
of-
pin in that. And I talked about this earlier this morning, that I think some of the advantage that Gabriella Bryan has been taken away because of the size of the serve. But let's continue on.
Go,
Gabriel versus Al.
Gabriel. Yeah. Because of the condition.
I completely agree. I think Al has had, you like to talk about magic. Al has won 2 heats. He's in the quarters. He's the people's champ. Whether you're Latin or not, you're Latin when it comes to Al. You gotta love Al Cleland, and just the way the guy approaches it. His surfing, and I don't know if you saw this, Tom Carroll did a really good dissect breakdown of Al surfing at Punta Roca on the
Really?
bigger waves. And
I
he
didn't
talked
see
about,
that.
you've got to Google this.
Wow.
If you guys haven't seen this, Google Al Cleland, Tom Carroll.
Look at the wave. I mean, I don't understand why they put it on hold, dude. I mean, you don't run away from perfect waves. You already did that 2 days ago. You did it yesterday. Don't do it again, man. I mean, and it's worse. Today is worse than yesterday, of course. I mean, yesterday was epic all day long. That's the other thing. I mean, having an entire day of Punta Roca pumping is not an easy thing, you know. Brian, I wrote an article about this, and Brian Perez himself, the guy that knows more about Punta Roca, told me, dude, you're right. I mean, today and yesterday were epic days for Punta Roca.
I heard that the government was behind it, that they had said, hey, there's going to be a tropical storm. I want to call it off.
well.
I want it to be safe.
Okay.
This is the rumor I've heard from 2 different people.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I
mean,
think
there was
that
an orange alert. Yeah. I mean,
there was an orange alert. And it
So-
turns out these forecasts have been shithouse. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Surfline, but you screwed up big time.
The next time there's a good forecast will be the first time there's a good forecast. They kind of got it today, but today's
That's
easy.
another topic to talk, Dave.
Yeah.
And we have many topics to talk.
We have many topics.
The
but
monopoly of Surfline is freaking crazy. We are like back in my country. I know how to read other forecasts, but in here I can only read Surfline, and I'm kind of fucked, because there's nothing else I can read. And wow. And
that might have been Leo, my pick.
Okay.
Anyway, hey, one thing about Pablo, he keeps it real. That's why we hang out. That's why we get down, because, I think it's important to talk the truth and be honest about what's really going on, because guess what? The viewers have eyes. And as soon as
They saw Surfline too.
and Surfline figures out that they have eyes, then it's going to be a lot easier for all of us to get along and call it like it is. This bullshit that sometimes permeates broadcast and forecast is not cool, and I think they're getting better at it. I'll give them credit there, but I think there could be a lot more disclosure around
power
decisions.
turn by Leo Fioravanti.
Dude, I'm missing it because there's like glare. I can't see the screen. There's comments flying by. But you know what? You and I can continue to be on a roll.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go a little wider so we can see everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick, I'm not going to pick Al. I want to pick Al. I'm going to pick Gabriel to win that heat. So you and I agree.
Hopefully he proves
We
us
both
wrong.
picked Kanoa. We went opposite Marco and Leo.
Yeah. So Sama
we
is-
went opposite Elo and Cowley. I took Elo, you took Cowley, you took Marco, I took Leo.
Okay.
And then we both agreed that Gabriel Medina, he's a machine, dude. I would be, unless there's an injury, super shocked.
Another one. The
Another
event could be
beauty.
on right now. When I see these things, I don't know, but whatever. You are the host. You are the, you're
Dude,
the anchor here.
I'm just,
Beautiful power turn, man.
I'm just getting like the pleasure of having you in this podcast,
That's all right,
this show
man.
with me, because I usually do this alone with the viewers, and that's beautiful. But to get to talk to somebody else rather than talking to the air, people think I'm crazy.
but
They're
you
looking
do-
at me. They think, who's this crazy man on the
you do an
beach?
amazing job. I follow your lives, and they come and go with the followers is really good.
Thank you. Don't worry, you'll get your sponsorship money. You don't have to say that.
Good. Yeah.
But anyway, should we move on? Wow, look at out the
You got
back,
the one in the
dude.
back, yeah, man.
See, if
what time is the call?
that one in the back,
The call is at 7:30, I think.
7:30 for an 8:05. By the way, for those of you just joining us, we're talking
what
about.
people don't know is that at some point the wind is gonna come. At some point, this is gonna be perfect with these conditions.
Wait, Surfline says it's not going to come the wind. Are they lying again?
It has a green. It has the green, super green, and then the green that is not that strong.
Yes.
That probably means that there's wind coming. I mean.
No, it's the super green. It's not the purple though.
Well.
But it is the super green. Somebody cracking the backhand.
Right?
That is a gnat, dude.
Yeah,
We're going to get to her. Let's talk about her.
Interesting. Okay, let's go to the women's.
Let's go to the
part.
women. So, Gabrielle O'Brien versus a gnat. They've
Okay.
never met in a heat before.
We're gonna miss it again with like Stephanie Gilmore now. I mean,
Look, you and I pretty much wrote a gnat off and went right for Stephanie Gilmore. And a gnat went out in 2 heats in a row and blew doors. She beat Steph Gilmore and she beat Sawyer Lindblad, both of who I have tremendous respect for their power or for their surfing.
Yeah.
And more Sawyer for her power game and Steph for her, a right-hand point break. Steph Gilmore, are you kidding?
No,
all day long, picking that 99 out of 100 times.
That's an easy one. Come on. I mean,
But
I'm sorry, Anat.
She's won
Yeah.
a gnat versus Gabriella Bryan. What's your
Gabriela is
take?
the perfect surfer here. She's incredible. Even in I mean, if you tell me Gabriela against Carissa, which is for me the semi-finals, I'm gonna say Carissa because I think she's lighter on her. She's lighter for these conditions.
I agree. But let's say
Gabriela. I'll go with Gabriela.
So I'm gonna
sorry,
go-
Anat, you did it amazing. It was your best event, but goodbye.
I'm gonna. Pablo says goodbye to
I
Anat.
love Anat. She's amazing.
She
Super
is.
strong women. We had some. How do you call that when people is against? You know what happened in the world,
protesters. Yeah.
like in Bells protests or stuff like that. You have to keep strong to surf in that. Well, here she had a lot of support, which was amazing to balance things out. But I mean, I really admire Anat. But in this case, I'm gonna go with Gabriela. All right, let's keep going.
So you assume I'm going with Gabriella. I'm not.
No?
I think that I think that Anat has more small wave game growing up in Israel and surfing shitty little waves, and she's grinded it out on the QS and the CS for so long. I think she just fell. Hold on, I'm changing my pick. Hold on.
She felt like
She just
it looks
fell
okay.
on the rocks.
Dude, you
Wait, where is
never-
she? I can't even see her.
Never
Where?
walk casually. There, you're there.
There she
You're
is.
good.
Yeah.
Never walk casually in the rocks.
Never
Now
walk
when it's
casually
dry,
in the
dry, yeah. But then use 3 hands, 3 feet. You know.
Hopefully
like
you
one
guys
hand
can
and two-
Use
and
a
2 feet.
script in browser and watch for free. She's right there. Yell it, but Anat, you're gonna lose. So I'm gonna take Anat, and I don't want to get into. You glanced off of it. I'm gonna stay out of the politics of all this. Unfortunately, it's hard to for her. She's gonna get every place I've been to. She's had 2 things: protesters and a huge backing. So ultimately, to me, when I walk in here, I cover pro surfing and she's a pro surfer, and I talk about her game. I talk about how she surfs, and I try to let the rest of it, there's plenty of forums out there to talk that other stuff. But
So you don't
let's-
mess with that.
I try not to mess with that because ultimately your show and my show is about covering pro surfing and entertainment. Will I mix it up with some of that? Yeah, probably. Have a coffee with me and pull me aside and we'll talk. Let's
Okay.
move on.
Okay.
Luana and Carissa.
All right, Carissa for me.
You're just gonna
100%.
just stop and say Carissa for you.
I think Luana is talented, but I mean, I don't see her with a feast of a world champ. I mean, she's gonna maybe do the top 5, but yeah, for me, that's a Carissa all the way. And yeah.
You're going to be shocked when I say this.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I actually think Luana has more of a chance, a hope than you're giving her.
All right.
God, I'd love to talk to Al. Al's right there, but he's
hello.
preparing for a heat.
Do you want me to call him?
No, I think
I don't know him. Go. He's talking to his coach.
one of the things I would love is for him to let us know what the text messages he's getting about the call. He's here, which tells me there's a possibility. Look at that wave right there. Just look at that little peeler. How much fun would you and I have?
Yeah, that's
We
for
need to
sure.
have a heritage heat, dude. Wait, are you a goofy footer?
No, I'm a regular. Yeah.
Ah, dang it.
You're goofy.
No, I'm a regular too. I just thought I might have a little advantage. But I put my bottom turn against all your power game and airs.
Okay.
Anyway,
So you're going with Luana.
I think that it's a dumb move, but here's the only reason I have an argument for Luana, and I just want to be contrarian on this one, is that small waves, she has a beautiful down the line front side carve. She does throw spray. God, Carissa's spray is better though. I think Carissa can surf small waves, but both of them have that thing. Carissa grew up surfing kiwalos and those little waves like this, and Luana grew up surfing inside Sunset and the little right in there. So I don't know. I'm crazy if I pick Luana there. I'm going with Carissa.
You changed
I
your point.
I
Come on.
talked my way out of that
All right,
one.
all right,
But I
yeah.
think that's going to be closer than you think it's going to be. Let's go to Molly and Caroline. I have stakes on this. Caroline is still on my fantasy team.
Yeah, go
I-
ahead.
I think that Caroline has looked better in heats than she has in the free serve. I don't know if you agree with this. Molly's looked better in the free serve.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take. I'm
Okay.
going to take Caroline. Just because
good,
she's
good.
on
I
my
like
fantasy
you. Okay,
team.
I like you.
Because she's on my fantasy
I like
team.
that for once you said the name first before me.
Well, because I'm being a kind host and letting you be the guest. But yeah, Caroline, who do you
I'm
take?
with you. I'm with you. I think that Molly shines when the waves are bigger. And even here in Punta Roca, I think that Caroline has an advantage. She's the only woofy footer that won here. She won here 2 times. Judges love the Carolupo style. So yeah, for me, that's an easy pick. I like what I saw from Molly training so much, going to the water so much. I saw her free surfing many times, and that's amazing to see a pro surfer putting so much time in the water here. But yeah, for me it's Caroline. She's in a good mood right now, and she loves this wave. Yeah.
That was solid, and I want to add to that the record between the two is 4-2, Molly's advantage. Molly has won 4 times. Now, a couple of those were in Fiji on a left,
Yeah.
surprisingly, but Molly can use her backhand, which is good. I think one of those was at Sunset. You can
But the
go
thing
look
is that
that up on
Molly
surfmetrics.app. And
right.
surfmetrics.app, our sister site over there, running stats. Dill is the stats nerd, if you will. He wouldn't mind me saying that because I'm kind of a stats nerd.
I didn't know
What was
that.
your take? 4-2, Molly.
Yeah, but the thing is that Molly got the worst time of Caroline in her career. If it was 5 years ago, the stats weren't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
When
think
Caroline Yeah.
I agree. I want to stop and put a pin in it before we get to the last heat, which is Tyler and Katie. We're going to get there in a moment. I want to talk about something you just brought up, which is who's been putting in the most time out here. I'm gonna say a surfer, then you say a surfer. You just said Molly. I'm gonna say Marco. Marco and Jason are like a fixture on the rocks down there every day, all day. Anyone else you see that's putting in the time, and I see that consistently from that team, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good choice. It's pretty hard. At the beginning of the event, I think it was Ethan Ewing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was amazed on how much, on the amount of time he was putting on the water. But
Ethan surfs a lot in
and that was
warm-ups.
and that was
several times a day, yeah.
It was amazing to see that. But then
What a gift for us.
he left. So, yeah, I'll say Molly and you say Marco. That's good.
I love it. You want to move on to this last heat, and then I'll
Yeah,
look at some comments and say, hey, thanks everyone for joining. I so appreciate it. We have not looked at the comments at all. We've just been talking about these matchups. And hey, they might call this off, and we can do the same show tomorrow, and you can change your picks.
Look at this. You sound like a good guy, a fun guy to have at parties. I don't know if he's talking about me or you.
Probably the
Both
combo
of us.
of the two of us. When we arrive at the party, there's going to be fun. Let's talk about Tyler and Katie.
Okay.
This matchup is 2-2. They've each beat the other twice.
Yeah.
It's an old school versus new school.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier that neither one of them really give a fuck. Like, they don't give a shit. They're going to go out and surf. They're going to
Yeah.
give it their best. They're
Yeah.
competitive as hell, but they're like pretty relaxed. And I did not pick Katie after she had such a bad performance in New Zealand, but it's almost like she's got her rhythm back and she looks very at ease and comfortable. You want me to pick first?
No. Well, go, whatever. I have my pick.
Katie.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Yeah, it's Katie Siemers. I think that Tyler is actually on her best event, best I have seen her surfing this year. She's getting better and better. She
Totally.
she told everybody that she was coming back, and beautiful line she has been drawing, but the surprise factor and the modern surfing that Katie brings, you know, that move she did was impossible, and she pulled it on the last round.
You're talking about that
Yeah,
off
like
the top
lay
against
back,
Bella
whatever.
Kenworthy.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
blew
Fins
the fins
out.
out. Jesus.
Crazy, whatever.
It was.
And the line she drew, it's amazing. Katie Zimmer has like the best of both worlds, you know, the best roundhouse cutbacks and the best airs. So yeah, I mean, I love Katie, and I see the thing with Katie is that sometimes she's not sync with an event, and I think that with this event she is on sync. She's happy. She's one of my favorite. Actually, I'll say the final is gonna be Katie against or Gabriela or Carissa. Okay? I
Wow.
went all the way to the final.
You went, so that's your final. Not sure what my final is going to be. I might wait. I might hold out and see what happens, but we will definitely make that call. I'm going to read some comments in a moment. I really enjoyed that breakdown. That
Okay.
was solid analysis.
Thank you so much for inviting me, man.
Yeah, I think Pablo is going to go get some AC
I'm
and
gonna-
actually
no,
do
you know
real
what?
work
I'm
now.
I'm gonna actually shoot a set rolling and share it on dukesurf.com. Don't forget to follow dukesurf.com or dukesurf in Instagram.
DukeSurf.com, D-U-K-E, like the Duke himself, surf, S-U-R-F, DukeSurf.com. Thanks, Pablo.
Thank
Hold
you,
on.
Dave.
Hold on. Let's get a... Woo! That's an extreme close-up.
Coffee, always coffee.
Yeah, I'm going to go get some myself. Here's Sebastian's. Give a shout out. He's the cameraman behind the scenes. The boys are killing it over at Duke Surf. You can also see a video where they introduce the event site. They go around to each spot and hold on. And yeah, it's pretty cool, the content they're coming up with. All right, I'm gonna get in the damn shade here, dude, and read some comments because it is cooking. Like, I've already got a sweat going. Hey, I'm gonna cross over, brother. Let's get in the shade. Ah, there we go. Guys, so for those of you who missed, we're...
Everybody was listening when we said.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Hey,
Well,
everyone.
We didn't say anything wrong, right?
Hey, no, we didn't say anything wrong. We said everything right, I guess.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. So what happened just then was my phone overheated. I got in the shade. And this has happened several times. It's only ever happened in El Salvador where the phone gets so hot, it just shuts down. Look at this wave. Let's talk about this wave. Dude, that is head high. I mean, about as fun a wave as you can have. And there's somebody out the back. Here, let's go in closer. So it looks like this thing's still on. And we're back. We're back, everybody. Neil Young is having a concert somewhere in Surf City, El Salvador. What? My stream has dropped. I find Caitlin has returned. You know, at some point, one of the features of the live stream is we're going to split screen this deal, and we're going to have a zoomed in version following the surfer and a talking wide version. That's the dream. I'm always looking to do things a little better. Whoa, right back up. Hey everyone, welcome back. We had some technical difficulties. All right, later guys. Phone overheated and it just locked up. My phone just locked up. Like, emergency. There's a little thermometer on the screen. Like, you're doing nothing. Hope you enjoyed that. Stoked that Pablo and I got to talk about that. I've been trying to get him the last few days. Let's see what this says. One Eye Motocross, right on, dude. Let's see what else we have. A lot of comments that I missed. Look at these poor souls doing the boulder shuffle. Classic, that's for sure. Pablo is impacting our banter. Sorry. I love Pablo's banter. It's rare that I get him, and guess what? You're not gonna see him until next year in El Salvador, but I might have him on a live show. What do you guys think about that? I may pull him onto a televised live show where it's computer generated, because I like talking to Pablo. He's very well informed, and he does come from the definitely the Latin perspective, but he knows what he's talking about. I know you won't probably want me to zoom in. I'm gonna wait. That's a local battler on the inside right there. And then we have this out the back, and I will zoom in on this. Let's see who gets this. I'm doing this with one hand. There's your old double pump bottom turn. Not a huge fan. Hey, one of the things I like, that's not the bell, that's the hooter. Be sure to tune in. That the coaches are waiting for the surfers with a pair of shoes. As, you know, day of the year, Oceanside Pier. This is Harbor Jetty once a decade. I think she will be all over this, but don't forget that Tyler grew up in, I mean, pretty much didn't every surfer grow up on a beachy? Aside from maybe George Patar and maybe Ethan Ewing, those point breaks up in Stradbroke. Look at that out the back. No one got that. Somebody's going to get it now. And I don't know, man. The more I look at it, the more I'm afraid they're going to call it off, and that's cool. I got editing and stuff to do, but I might actually have a surf today. The water looks cleaner. I was worried that it would be nasty and dirty, and I was going to avoid it, but the water definitely looks better than the chocolate brown barrels we had the other day. This is Neil Young's fault. History buff, I don't know if